So much for joining, everyone. It's really nice that you were able to take some time out of your weekend to be here during this event. So today's event is about applied arts at St. Lawrence College, and we have a lovely panel of guests here for you today. So my name is Zoe Harris. I am one of the regional managers for international recruitment at St. Lawrence College. And in my portfolio, I have North America, and one of my team members who also is in North America and helps me with Canada and the United States is Stas. Stas, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure, Lois, thank you. So yeah, I work with students from United States and those who are located in Canada, international students. So like in general, it's recruitment for like North America. Yeah, thanks, Zoe. And work closely with Zoe.
Thanks, Stas. Another wonderful member of my team is Anna. Anna, could you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, guys. Thank you for being here. So I am Anna, and I'm in charge of the Brazilian market.
Perfect. Thanks, Anna. And we have two members of our team from Mexico and Central America. Andrea, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Hi, yes, my name is Andrea Escalera, in charge of Mexico and Central America. I'm very happy to be here with you guys.
Thanks, Andrea. And certainly not least, but unfortunately last, is Laura.
Thank you, Zoe. Good morning to you all. It's great to be here with you again. And I'm based in Mexico, covering Mexico and Central America.
Thanks, Laura. And we also have two of our wonderful students with us today. Felipe, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Felipe. I'm an international student from Brazil, and I'm currently studying music theater performance.
Thanks. And we also have another student with us today, Gail.
Hello, my name is Gael. I'm from Mexico, and I'm currently studying at the program of music theater performance in SLC in Brockville.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And we have one of our fantastic faculty members with us today too. Mark, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Mark Bergen, and I'm the coordinator, and I teach in the music and digital media program. And some of our students know some of the music theater students.
That's perfect. Thanks, Mark. It's so nice to hear that many of our students are connected across campuses and programs and have these close relationships with each other. Mark, I know you've prepared a presentation for today's event. Would you mind starting with the presentation that you've prepared, please?
Sure, let me just,
okay.
I'm so used to working on Teams that it says host disable participant screen sharing.
Oh, here, let me do this. Want to try that again?
There we go. You should be seeing my screen now. Let me make it a little better. Just starting with a little bit of humor. It's not really dangerous, although art could be dangerous. I think a lot of social change comes because of art. So the Music and Digital Media program, this is me. I've just introduced myself. If people need to reach me, my email is there. This pretty well describes the program. We cover so many different areas. Some of our students in action here. We have 6 rehearsal rooms that also form recording studios, and we have 2 huge recording studios and our booth. And we also go out all around campus. So there's some of our students doing photography. It says the future is now because things have really changed in the arts and culture world, where in the past, if you trained in video production, you'd go out and get a job in video production. It doesn't work like that anymore, because now you have to have multiple skills just to get a job. And that's what we do in music and digital media. Thus the long name. Music is pretty obvious, but the digital media covers so many skills a student there working on Logic Pro. And people are used to seeing old recording studios with all the dials and everything. It's now digital. And this is the board that used to be a manual board where you push levers all around. So you need these multiple skills because we live in difficult environments sometime. That's my dog that's now on the couch. So a big focus of our program is arts integration. So you learn audio recording, audio production, video production, music composition, motion graphics. Even there's a class in integrated arts on puppetry. So every imaginable kind of art skill. It's the only program of its kind in Canada. You can go to some schools and learn music, some schools and learn video, some schools and learn audio, but we put it all together. And we have really small class sizes. I know every one of my students, I know what they're up to. Some of them probably wish I didn't, but it's a good thing. We have a new curriculum that launched a couple of years ago that includes 2 entrepreneurial skills courses because we found that an increasing number of our students don't want to work for somebody else, especially in the digital age. So they are starting their own businesses. So we teach them how to do that. They come out with their own website. They know all about search engine optimization. Students learn to take photos from odd angles. This one's from right above, in the dark. Probably 10 years ago, I could have given you a career path, and I can't now. It's because they leave with so many diverse skills. Although I think, I'd say 90% of the students who come into our program still think they're going to leave as a musical performer or something close to it. But during the program, something really interesting happens. They discover all kinds of skills. So some go into audio engineering, some go into video production, some become photographers, some do things they never even imagined. Some even go into theater because they learn things like theater projections. So our new curriculum, this is online, people can look it up later, but the big things here are we do have a huge emphasis on integrated arts. Students also learn keyboarding now because a lot of our students have trained on instruments other than piano, but it's much easier to understand music and music theory on the piano than it is on, say, guitar or sax. In the first semester, in one of my courses, we even look at the effects of music on the brain and body because this becomes important. We also teach them how to write grants. And when you're applying for government money, it helps to have scientific evidence of, oh, this affects math skills, this affects mood. So they get all of that in their very first year. We go way beyond the classroom. This is an Indigenous installation across the street from the Kingston campus at St. Lawrence Park. In our first month, we go over there so students get a sense of this too is art, and this is an installation. Because later in the program, they actually will be creating installations. We bring in professionals from outside. This is a musician from Iran who came to talk to the students. This is John Mills Cockle, who came to talk to our students last year. He was the first person in the world to perform live on a Moog synthesizer in 1968. So he had a lot of wisdom to share with the students. By the third semester, they're doing lots of projects, and you'll see something called sound design here. It's not just music, it's how do you create sounds for a soundtrack? How do you make the sound of fire burning without a fire actually burning? In entrepreneurial skills, we look at, okay, where do you get your funds from? How do you make money on your own? How do you survive as an artist? Some of our students, they were actually being very silly in action here. And in the last term, it's huge project orientation. they have to do live performance. They have to create a public arts installation. In 2018, we opened a brand new studio that was created just for us. It's a state-of-the-art recording studio. We're very proud of it. Students come through, and when people come through for a tour, the first reaction is the jaw drop and go, oh, wow. You can check out our students' work tomorrow night. Just search St. Lawrence MDM on YouTube and you'll find our channel. Right now, there are 2 of our past showcases up, and the other one will launch tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So thank you very much. And I've sent the PowerPoint to you, so you'll have it on file. Any questions?
Thanks so much, Mark. That was a fantastic presentation. I love seeing so many photos of your students and of the campus. So your program is based on the Kingston campus.
Yes, it is.
And the new studio, I've been in it a couple of times. I was lucky enough to find myself in there, and it's such an interesting and like creative space. There are like these hidden objects all over the room that, you know, just like ignite that kind of curiosity. So it feels like such a wonderful environment to be in.
Did you happen to see the shark?
I did. That was one of my favorite things.
It came with us. It had been in our old home in New Courthouse on the corner for years, and it's like the elf on a shelf. It follows us everywhere. So I didn't know it was there. Students brought it over from the other. So yeah, it's one of the little curiosities in there.
Yeah, I love that. So if anyone is curious enough and wants to see where it is in that room, you can actually find it on the 360 tours of our campus, and you can see if you can play a little bit of I Spy and find that shark in that studio. So does anyone have any other questions for Mark before I ask him a few things? Not yet? Okay. So Mark, you talked about the careers and like the paths that your graduates follow and how different they are now, especially because we're living in such a more digital world. Students are working on, you know, digital platforms instead of manually manipulating knobs and things like that. So do you often hear from the graduates or your program alumni about the careers that they've found?
I often see them.
Oh.
Again, it's such a small program. Everybody becomes fairly close, and I probably keep in touch with at least 3/4 of the students. And they, like I said, they go on to do everything from video production. An increasing number, I think from 2 years ago, grads, 6 are doing their own gigs now. They take artsy jobs on the side so they can develop their own business. But again, they leave, they have their own website by the time they leave. They know how to use social media. They know how to create a business plan. They know how to apply for grants. Some of them are getting grants, which is good. So yeah, I do keep in touch with them. They keep in touch with me. Some of them come back and surprise me in the middle of a class, go, hi, which is always nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It must be so like rewarding to not just hear from them, but see them in the environment and see what they're doing now after, you know, learning so much from your program. Yeah,
and I'm one of those people that gets up Monday mornings excited about Monday morning. And I have an 8:30 class, and it's like, oh, I don't need 100 coffees, and I'm not dreading it.
That's exactly what you want to hear, right? So you were talking about, you know, like these skills that you can employ students with, like this is grant writing, and this is where you're going to get your revenue from, and things like that. But when we talk about like the entrepreneurial side versus like, I just want to go and kind of get employed, like I just want to kind of work for somebody to get that experience. What's the most common entry-level job that somebody from your program might be employed in or start?
Probably something in the visual arts, like video production. They'll go work for a video studio. Second most would probably be audio production, but again, more and more those two are going hand in hand these days. If somebody is going into video production and the company learns, oh, they've got all these audio skills too, because you can't do one without the other, that helps immensely. I could tell you what apps they use now, but the nature of the program is we have to adapt. So the app they use next year, we're training them in things like Adobe Premiere Pro, which is an industry standard in terms of video production, and Adobe After Effects. That may be different in 2 years, but right now that's the kind of the apps they learn, plus Logic Pro for audio production. But I'd say video production and audio production are the two most common, but again, it's so diverse. Some of our students go on to further education too. We have an articulation with the university in Ireland where they give full credit for their 2 years in the MDM program. So they leave with their MDM diploma. They automatically get admission into the Ireland program, and in 1 year, academic year, so 8 months, they get a degree in audio production too. So in 3 years, they can get their diploma in music and digital media and a degree in audio production in another country.
Yeah.
And it's, again, it's an automatic acceptance as long as they've got passing grades and to go into a third year rather than to start over.
Yeah. So you got 3 years of education, 2 countries, and an endless number of possibilities afterwards, it sounds like.
Yeah.
That sounds so fantastic. You're making me want to take the program.
Well, a question I often get after presentations is, can I take a course or can I sit in on a class? And the answer is yes. We often have people sitting in on classes.
Wow.
I had 2 people in this week who are looking, well, they are applying, but they wanted to see what it's like. So they sat in on one of my classes and they still want to apply. So that's good.
That's the best. That's the best reaction for sure. So I was going to ask about the skills, like the top skills that graduates would gain from your program, but I think we've kind of touched on those.
Yeah, there definitely isn't a top skill.
Yeah.
But again, they go out with multiple skills, and not just like, oh, I've dabbled in Logic Pro recording. They have to create public exhibitions and performances, so they're really thorough. And people go, it's a 2-year program, and it could easily be a 3-year program. They don't have a lot of time to do other things. You know, some of them have part-time jobs too, but the program takes a huge amount of work and time.
That's really important to know. And it sounds like it takes a lot of like passion and dedication. So if you have that inherent like creative passion and drive, you know, that sounds like something that would match really well with the program based on
that's
like,
the kind of student we want. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And Mark, in your program, do you have many international students?
Yeah. Right now, this year we've got Korea, China, Japan, Russia, Colombia, and Mexico.
Wow.
Just this year, yeah. In fact, we had a Russian student last year who's now in 2nd year. Both of our Russian students are named Natalia, so we have to go Natalia 1 or Natalia 2 year. And our international students bring such a diversity of not just skill, but culture. The music, you know, from China is so different than the music from the West. And to me, that's another big thing about the program too. We don't just focus on Western music. I teach musical language and form, and in the first month, we're looking at indigenous cultures and indigenous music, which is why we go over to the indigenous installation across the street in Lake Ontario Park. But our international students just bring such a wealth of cultural knowledge.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing, Mark.
Okay.
I'd like to talk to our students now, if you don't mind. We can jump in. I'm sure there'll be more questions that everyone wants to ask. So to our students, would you mind unmuting your mic so that we can talk to you a little bit about your programs and your experience?
Sure.
Thank you. So I think we will start with Andrea. Can you take this question?
Okay, sure. So this is for both of you. Maybe we can start with Felipe and then with Gael. But music and theater performance, it's art. And as Mark says, is very diverse, it's very flexible, very dynamic. So I would like to know, how do you describe the program to your friends and your family when they ask you, where are you studying, what is it about? Maybe we can start with you, Felipe.
Yeah, I would say, just like you said, it's very diverse, because there's a term, a music theater term, which is triple threat. So you have to be an actor, you have to be a singer, you have to be a dancer. And speaking of dance, for example, you have to know ballet, you have to know jazz, you have to know tap. So the more versatile you are, the more possibilities you have to be employed in the future on a company or a show or a cruise ship. I don't know, it's diverse. That's why I'm saying this. But also, I would say it's very demanding, because all of this demands a lot of energy and a lot of work. On tapping, for example, me and Gael yesterday, we were tapping on the bus stop, literally, because the teacher taught a new move, and every single time we were like, because we want to learn, and it is necessary, work out of the college too, so then you can bring the results. So yeah, but it's very rewarding too.
Okay, perfect, Felipe. Thank you.
Thank you.
What about you, Gael?
I totally agree on what Felipe said, but I will add maybe that the program is very flexible. For example, for me, I'm not a very good dancer. That's like the bottom of my list in my skills in music theater. But in the SLC program, they have these divisions between, oh, okay, you're a beginner, okay, you will go to the tap beginners class, to the jazz beginners class, to the ballet beginners class. And they also have like this advanced class to the people which are dancers first, for example. And they're very flexible on that. And also talking about singing, singing is my first skill, but for other friends we have, which are like singers first, I have seen so much development on them, because we have these voice lessons, private voice lessons. So you're going on your own rhythm, you're learning by your own, and you can focus on what you know you need to perfection. That's the word. And I'll repeat once again, that's very demanding, because it totally is. It's demanding physically, emotionally, intellectually. Yeah, it's demanding in all certain ways. So you need a lot of energy and you need a lot of time. And again, as Felipe said yesterday, we were just practicing tap in a bus stop, because we don't have that much time like for practicing on our own. So you need to take this little times of your daily life to practice a bit of this new step we learn on tap, or this new technique you learn on singing, or some jazz step, etc. But yeah, that's what I will say the program is.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I have some follow-up questions to you guys. So I've got to go about it. It's flexible and it's demanding. But if you would choose one, what would be like the most like popular part of the program? Like what you would like, if anyone asked you about that, what you would mention, or Felipe as well?
I would say that my first part, I mean, I love everything, and I'm in between two, but I have a favorite one. But my two are MTP, which is our class that we apply acting and singing together and there's a piano, so it's very beautiful, and like all of your work is there for that moment. So it's really good. But I think I would say that my favorite part are the dance classes, because as Gael, I'm not a dancer, but I like the challenge. So even though I'm not a dancer, I like to practice a lot. And so it's very, oh, I lost the word. Very, it gives me motivation. That is what yeah, motivational. Maybe that's the word.
Great. What about you, Gail?
I'll totally agree again with MTP, because MTP is a very the whole meaning of that class is satisfaction, because as Felipe said in here, you were putting all those things you learned in the week on this class. You're putting all these acting techniques you learn in the week, and all these singing things you learn in the week. So you apply them in this class. And once you get it, once you know that song, it's just perfect, it's just a big satisfaction in you. And it's not only for you, but for your classmates, because you're singing in front of all of them, and they can feel the storytelling, they can feel the emotions you're trying to portray. So it's just like a whole emotional class. Yeah. And the second one, I'll say acting. Acting is very interesting. I really enjoy acting. I feel it's the perfect balance between practice and technique. We do a lot of exercises on the technique we are seeing that week, and we also see a lot of technical things. So first, usually what we will do is we'll start seeing this new technique, and we'll look at the principles of the guy we're studying, and later on the teacher will just start doing some exercises based on that technique, and you can start feeling, and not feeling, but getting more connected with these techniques. You can understand them way better. So yeah.
Great. Like when Mark described the program, I was okay. I also want to start this one, but now after your explanations and and your energy and how you talk about it, now I want to start music and theory and performance program. Yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah, and I would just like to add to when what Gael was saying, that singing in front of your classmates, it's very energetic, as he says, because you are putting all of your energy there, but at the same time you receive back, because all of our classmates, we're so bonded and everybody's so connected, and we're like cheering, yes. So when someone belts the note, people are like, woo. So it's very good. It's very satisfying.
So you see the result right away. I mean, for other courses, let's say if you do some exercise, maybe in a week you'll have a result. But now you see right away, there is good or bad. Yeah, it's really nice.
Thanks, everyone. I'm going to pass the questions on to Anna.
Hi, guys. I think my question can go to both of us. Hi, Faye. Me too. What is it you like the most about being an international student at St. Lawrence?
Okay.
You cannot say the gears in the street.
Yeah.
Like yesterday. No,
Yeah.
you cannot say that.
Yeah, yesterday I was walking downtown, and out of the blue there was some reindeers there, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, Canada. Okay, but coming back to the question, what I like the most, I think it's these little things. I mean, you are walking on the street and then you see something different and you discover so many things. And at the same time, this I'm talking about the whole Canada experience, but talking about the college, I think it's really good because, for example, on the same program, there's me, there's Gael, there's Andrea, which is another Mexican girl. So you have, there are people from Taiwan. There's Judy, which is a friend of ours. She's from, no, Taiwan. Is it Taiwan, girl? Taiwan.
I think it was Taiwan or Vietnam, one of those.
Yeah, Vietnam or Taiwan, I don't remember. So it's very multicultural. So you get to know a bit of everything, and at the same time, people are very supportive. So when you have it's very common for me or Gael to say, how do you say this? We forgot. And people try to help, people try to understand. So that's very good. Yeah.
Thank you. And I want to say that I've seen some videos from, of course, Felipe, but his classes, and Gael was in one of them. And there is the beautiful one that Felipe is standing in the front of the class. I would never do that. I would even stand up in front of them. But then he starts singing. And that voice, oh my God, I would never be able to do that. But one of the most beautiful parts of that is that when he finishes singing, the entire class is like, yeah, there you go. So that's so nice because they really encourage each other. So we can see it on the videos and through the pictures that the class is very supportive. And we always see a teacher with them, either on the piano or on the back, also saying, congratulations, you nailed it. So that's very, I don't know, the energy of the classes might be really beautiful.
Yeah, that was MTP, the class we were talking about, where you sing with the piano. It's very good. Everybody is so, and not only on that, even on dancing, for example. As I said, I'm not a dancer first, but there are people like really good that dance since like 2 years old. So, and they help each other. So yeah, that was great. No, try this. So everybody's very supportive.
And well, I'll say that St. Lawrence College gives a lot of things to international students. I mean, we talking more like these technical things. I mean, we have life insurance. I think that's the name. We have a really complete life insurance. We have all of you, which are always helping us right there. If we have any question about something, about I don't know, how to do something in the college, some movement you need to do at the airport or something, you guys are helping us with that. And what a wonderful way to help us in our natal language. So it makes things way easier. And yeah, again, as Felipe said, talking more like about the society Canada is, it's a really amazing society. I mean, Canadians are really easygoing, really friendly, pretty chatty. You always feel home. You always feel like you're a family. And as you have heard, our program it feels like a second family because we're all supporting each other. And we know we're all living the same thing. We know what hard things we're living with or for. And we're just there to support each other, to make us grow. It's a really supportive community.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Thank you so much. Laura, did you have a question you wanted to ask our students?
Yes, thank you, Zoe. And thank you guys, because all you have said is very inspiring. So yeah, thank you. But now that you have started your program, have your career goals or aspirations changed, or do you still have the same journey in mind? What do you think about that?
I wouldn't say they have changed because, as I said, my personal focus after I finished the program, it's already very diverse. So if I, for example, obviously that's not something I want to do for the rest of my life, but at some point I want to work on a cruise ship, for example, to spend 6 months traveling, and that's awesome. Or maybe I can go to a festival, an acting festival, or maybe I can go to a company. I don't know. So I would say that my focus didn't change, but being in the program has widened my possibilities even more. And also to know that I have to work double or maybe triple the amount of work I was doing, because it's very competitive. So yeah, that's what I would say.
And I'll say the same thing. My goals haven't changed, but not in a bad way. The thing which has changed is like more a personal or mentally thing in me, because my own person, like at the beginning of this semester, talking about performance, an actor. I don't feel that same actor I was at the beginning that I am now. So what the program has done to me is basically shown me this whole new skills I can learn, and this whole new what do you say? Yeah, this new skills I can learn, and this talents I have that I didn't even know about. I mean, I feel this program makes you discover yourself even more. And with that, as Felipe said, it widens up your opportunities. You start thinking like more generally on more things you can work in. But it makes those opportunities seem way easier to get, because the program gives you this whole amount of tools you can use for acting, for singing, and for dancing. And once you are trying them, testing them, you see they make things way easier. There are shortcuts. And it's just, again, a really big satisfaction. This program is just about satisfaction. You feel a big satisfaction in yourself and then about your whole program, folks. And yeah, it makes
it's like you feel more confident, no? And like, yeah, and like more confident with yourself and with the program. So it is good. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much, everyone. I'm going to ask one last question, but before I do, does anyone have any follow-up questions for any of our special guests today?
I'd just like to add that thanks to both of the students for clearly sharing from their hearts. That was beautiful to witness.
Yeah, I just want to add also here that like we the CLC like should be proud like to have such a smart and brilliant students, guys. You're really great.
Yeah, it's so nice. Like, it's so wonderful to have Felipe and Gael today, so that you can hear such positive feedback. And I mean, that's the best kind of testimonial or ambassadorship that we could possibly have. So for all three of our guests, Felipe, Gael, and Mark, if you had to give any prospective student one piece of advice, if they were considering the music theater and performance program, if they were considering the music and digital media program, what piece of advice would you give them?
I will probably the best piece of advice I could give any student, not just in the arts, in life, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Be your own unique person. One of our students, you're going to see her work tomorrow night. In class this week, presented her culminating integrated arts presentation, and it was called "Why Don't I Look Like Her?" And it was deeply moving. Look at body image, trying to measure up to someone else, like physically, but don't do it creatively or mentally either. Be you. So don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Yeah, I totally agree. And what I would say is something related to that, but don't be afraid. When you said be you, that's exactly what I mean. There's one of our professors, he said that people pay to see your heart on stage because you have to open up. So it's going to be hard. You're going to fail a bunch of times, but you fail, and then you learn. So for me, for example, on dance, coming back to dance, because I'm not a dancer, but I risk myself and I try. I don't know if it's correct or not, but if I don't try, how will I learn? So yeah, it's very vulnerable. But as I said before, it's very rewarding when you see that you're taking the risks and you're learning with them.
Yeah, I'll add up a bit on what Felipe said. We have this professor, which is the one of voice, speech, and movement. And at the beginning, at our first class, I think, he said that basically, I feel this whole program is just about being vulnerable all the time. You need to be vulnerable all the time, which means you have to be open all the time to anything. So be open to anything because you will learn a lot of stuff. Sometimes it will be hard, very hard, but at the end, it's rewarding. It's very rewarding. And also, I'll say we have this other teacher, which is the co-coordinator, Chad. He said in this one class to be friendly competitive with ourselves. The difference with being competitive and friendly competitive is that this friendly competitive, it's more like I'm looking at, for example, me that I'm not a dancer first. I look at this, for example, I don't know, one of our classmates, Grayson, which she has been dancing her whole freaking life. And the thing in competitive, friendly competition is that you do not compare yourself to them, but you say, okay, I will try to do this thing better than she did, but not to humiliate her or make her feel bad. It's more about a self-achievement that you want to get, like a little goal you're putting yourself in this class or in this week. So yeah, be friendly competitive and be open to anything.
Thank you so much, everyone. This was a wonderful event. I really enjoyed being here, even though, you know, I already work at the college. They've already totally won me over, but being able to hear stories and experiences from people like Felipe, Gael, and Mark just, you know, makes it or really reinforces how special the college is and everything that we do there. So thank you so much for joining us on the weekend. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And thank you again just so much for being here. This was really fantastic.
Thanks for hosting this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye. Thank
guys.
you.
Good to see you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.